Okay. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for jumping on tonight. I'm so excited to share my awesome SSD friends with you guys. We have Shauna, Brianna, Bridget, and Danny, and they are going to talk about how they show up on social media every single day, and they are so awesome. My name's Amy Stevens. I'm a superstar director out of North Idaho. I'm about 8 hours from home office. So welcome tonight. We're going to get going because we have East Coasters Central Time, and that's super late for them. So we are going to kick it off with Danny. And are you ready, Danny? Yeah. Oh, you're muted still. There. We're going to stop.
Hi. Yeah, sure. That works great.
Hey, and so everyone, they're going to do like a quick little snippet of what they do on social media. Be thinking in your head and write down questions that you guys have for them, because at the end, we're just going to kind of like rapid fire questions that you guys have. So I'm going to mute everyone. Mute all. And then Danny, you can unmute. I remuted you. You're going to have to unmute yourself again. Okay.
Unmute. There we go. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. Sorry, I got distracted playing with backgrounds. Okay. Hi, guys. I'm Danny. If you guys follow me on social media, I go by Blue Cottage Mommy. So a little snippet about me. I have been with Scentsy since 2016. I am an SSD, and I am from Central Florida, but we moved to Mississippi during the pandemic. So I am a Mississippi transplant. Anyway, so when I joined Scentsy, I had actually come from another direct sales company. Don't hate me. So when I had started direct sales, in the beginning, I was a new mom. Prior to being a Scentsy person, I spent 10 years as a veterinary technician. So I've been in the animal world for a long time. And my husband and I got pregnant with our first child, and I desperately wanted to stay home. So during my like very teeny tiny maternity leave that I only had like 13 days of PTO to cover, I was trying to do anything and everything to stay home with my new baby. I was pet sitting. I was packing up my baby and taking like my carload full of all the baby stuff with me. I was just doing anything. So when I had started direct sales, I started with a different company, and it was kind of the first direct sales company I had like personally been involved in as far as like buying a product of my own. Like, of course, we've always heard of like Pampered Chef and Tupperware. They've been around for eons. But this was like a newer, fresher company. They'd only been around for like a year when I had stumbled upon them. And it wasn't that like I was absolutely in love with the company. It was just I was looking for something to do and to make some extra money. And not quite 2 years into my little direct sales career, I was introduced to Scentsy, and I don't know what it was, but it just something kind of clicked when I saw all the Scentsy things. And I was pregnant with baby number two, and I just really could not shake the feeling that Scentsy was where I was meant to be. So a couple months after being introduced to Scentsy, I ended up making the decision to leave the business I had and start a Scentsy business. So, and to be very clear, I was not 1 foot in, 1 foot out in two hands in a cookie jar each. I fully left one to start because I felt like this was where I needed to be and where I was supposed to be. So anyway, all that said, the first direct sales business I had been a part of, they were kind of the first to truly pioneer the thought of direct sales being on social media, utilizing social media as their sole platform. So all the other direct sales companies that I knew of were still doing the home party. So, you know, obviously Scentsy's doing the home party, Pampered Chef's doing the home party, Mary Kay's doing the home party thing. So again, another reason why I gravitated toward the original, because I thought this is one I can do while I'm breastfeeding from my couch. I can do it on my phone. So when I came to Scentsy, I remember being told, well, you can't do that. And I'm one of those people, if you tell me I can't, I'm going to do it twice and take pictures. So I was like, no, I feel really good about this. I feel like I can translate what I was doing into this new Scentsy business. And so I started doing Facebook parties, and I was doing like 10 to 12 Facebook parties a month. And I was doing really well with those. So for perspective, I joined in February 9th of 2016, and I was director by the end of April 2016. So I went really fast, and I grew really fast, which is great because I ended up having my second baby. And the night I came home from the hospital, I had a Facebook party. So mama had goals. So anyway, that has pretty much just been so when people ask me, well, how do you build a business on social media? That's where my business has always been. I didn't switch it over. I didn't translate a home party business to an online platform. It's just where I started and where I've always been. For me personally, and you're going to hear from voices that are way better on social media and know the ins and outs, especially like I'm still learning the ins and outs of Instagram. But there's voices that are way better than me. But for me, what has worked has just been truly authenticity, showing up consistently, connecting with people that just resonate with me or me resonating with them. So the two big things, if you were to take away anything, would be consistency, showing up. So imagine like you are biking up a hill, right? It's really hard to bike up a hill, but imagine in halfway through the hill, you put your feet down and you take a breath, right? And then you have to start back up and pedal it. It's going to be a lot harder to start back up than it was if you would just keep putting one foot in front of the other. So just stay consistent, whether that's just every day. And something that someone had told me in the beginning of my direct sales career is start your day off with a positive quote. And so every morning, if you guys follow me, I always do a good morning post, and it's always like something positive, some kind of like self-care or like inspirational, a little something. And I've been doing that for like 8 years now, and it truly helps me. But you would be surprised the amount of people that have comment and be like, I really needed this today. This really spoke to me. So if you don't know where to start with just consistency, just show up saying something inspirational or positive in the morning to just say good morning to those that follow you. Authenticity. It's so easy on social media to build a brand or an image or something that you feel like a role you have to play. And at some point, you're either going to get burnt out or found out. So like show up as yourself, and no matter what that is. And if you were to go on anyone's social platforms, anyone that you look up to, or if you just want to kind of self-evaluate your social platforms, if you go on there and just kind of scroll back the last like week, right? Does it look like a Scentsy infomercial? Because if so, you're gonna want to start adding in some more personal stuff. People buy from you. They love the product, obviously, but they're buying from you. So what is it that they are attracted to? And I always kind of judge my business or judge the connections and relationships that I've built in a way that if Scentsy were to close tomorrow, if tomorrow we got an email saying, oh, we're done, Scentsy's closing up shop, and all of the products went away. If you went somewhere else, would your following come with you? Would they trust you enough to follow you, whatever adventure, or do they care enough to follow you at whatever comes next? You know what I mean? And I hope that my customer base, my followers, my people that I have connections with on social media feel as though they are personally connected to me and not just a order number or a sale or an email popping up saying you've got a PWS sale. And then I guess so growing your network, making sure you're, and for me, that was through parties. So anyone that says like going or maybe to a party, friend request. And so even if they don't buy in that party, now you're in the newsfeed. And now they're going to be like, oh, okay, well, what's this about? So I've had so many people that like join, host, buy, and I won't even remember where they came from. But it's even today, I had someone reach out to me. Her succulent warmer stopped working, just all of a sudden just stopped working. So I immediately was like, oh, I can get that taken care of. Gave Scentsy a call. They're like, yeah, we'll replace it. So I messaged her, hey, I'm going to send over a prepaid label, pack that up, send it back. We're going to send you a brand new one. And she messaged me and she goes, I don't even know how I found you, but I am so grateful because you were by far the best consultant that I've ever been in contact with. So again, it's just, I'm sure I met her through a party at some point and we just become friends. And then the other thing that I do to kind of bridge that social media and like tangible connection is Happy Mail. the largest expense for me in my business is Happy Mail, but I justify it in my head as if I were an events consultant, I would be paying for inventory, I'd be paying for event fees, for tables, for tents, for whatever displays. And that's quite a hefty fee, that an investment that you're making in your business to be an event consultant. Same thing with home parties. If I was doing home parties, I would be spending gas, tolls, babysitter, hostess gifts, party gifts, like all the things, right? Time away from my family. For me, while postage is my most expensive business expense that I have, it's the trade-off that I get to work my business from my phone, from my home. I homeschool my kids. I'm always with my kids. So that, to me, that's the trade-off. And I'm able to get them, samples in their hands. They can smell, they can touch, they can flip through a catalog. I don't even deal with like showcase brochures or like the flyer things anymore. I give everybody a catalog because I want them to have like the full experience. So, I'm sure all the other ladies are gonna have really great stuff, but that's main points for me.
Awesome. Okay, Bridget, what about you?
All right.
Hang on. Let me spotlight you first. Where are you? Okay, there you are. Okay.
Hey y'all. So my name is Bridget Simon. I am an SSD out of New Braunfels, Texas. I have been with Scentsy for 10 years, and like Danny, I have always done my business online through social media. I had moved from Ohio down to Texas in May of 2013, and I had joined Scentsy in August. So when I joined Scentsy, I did not know anybody down here. And so the way that I grew my network was through Facebook, Facebook groups, actually. I first started because we had relocated down here with my ex-husband because he was oil field. So I had joined an oil field group. That was actually local to San Antonio, and that was the first group that I saw success. And then so I started realizing that I could build a successful business in a networking business while being online and learning how to network online successfully. So the biggest two things that I contribute to my success when it comes to networking and having a successful business on social media is consistency and real life pictures. I heard a quote a couple years ago at one of our leaderships, and it has stuck with me. And it says that I'd rather be consistently good than occasionally great. And so with that, I have always made sure, because I always have my phone, I feel like everybody has something going on in life that they could make an excuse as to why they can't work their business. But the fact that our business, once you put so many systems in place, the fact that it takes like 3 seconds to make a simple post, whether it's a quote like Danny was talking about, whether it's a personal family image, whether it's something that I'm doing in the car, I'm changing out my pods, anything like that, that I can snap a picture of. I try to be consistent by posting on my personal page, on my team page, and in my VIP group, and then in my stories. I love the fact that I have a different audience in each area of that as well. I pay attention to my views. I probably shouldn't. It's probably a lot of waste of time, but I pay attention to who has viewed my stories. And when I pay attention to who has viewed my stories versus who is liking my post on my VIP group is completely different than the group of people that is liking and commenting on my Facebook wall, personal Facebook wall. So sometimes I try to mix up the content so that Facebook looks and sees that I'm sharing different content, but at the same time, certain things, I don't have variations of it, whether it's like an LTO coming around or whatnot. But so I make sure that I'm utilizing all of those different functions on just Facebook. When it comes to social media, Instagram, Pinterest, all that, that's a whole nother ballpark, but tonight I'm just going to talk about Facebook. But make sure that when you're using Facebook, you are using all of those different avenues, because different customers or team members like or prefer different methods to be able to follow you along in your journey. The second one is personal pictures. Like Danny was talking about being authentic. So many of our customers probably know more than one consultant. And so if they are seeing the same flyers, the same copy and paste stuff from multiple consultants, it's gonna give it away of, oh, she's just copying from so and so. Now, I'm not saying that all of our customers know each other, but especially if you have local consultants around you and local customers, I've built a pretty good team here locally. So I know that a lot of our customers we share. And so I have to figure out what is going to help me stand out to my customers. And in order to stand out, it's going to be those personal pictures. It's going to be showing how I work my business, how I incorporate my family in my business. Because again, by working my business on social media, a lot of my customers have never met me in person, but they feel like they know me because I share so much. And I understand that that's not for everybody, but because social media has been my method of how I want to work my business and how I want to network and how I want to build relationships, I have to be personable. So that means that I'm sharing pictures of not just my kids helping me in my business, but also like a day in the life. Like my daughter just had a cheer competition this past Sunday. So many people are commenting and cheering her on that I don't even know in person, but they have watched my daughter grow up on social media because I actually joined Scentsy before I had her. So that's all she knows. And my customers have gotten to see her from baby until now. So they really feel like they are part of our circle, our family, our friends or whatnot. And it's all because I've been consistent and because I'm posting personal on social media. With my rule of thumb though, to be consistent and to be personal, I don't want to be salesy or like Danny said, like an infomercial on Scentsy. So I don't want it to be Scentsy, 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 Scentsy when somebody comes to my Facebook wall or if they go to my Facebook stories. Now, there are certain exceptions to that, like with flash sales and stuff like that. Of course, there's going to be, multiple things, but at the end of the day, we're more excited about certain things when it comes to our business, like a certain product or whatnot, that we don't want to vomit and lose that connection or that customer that we've worked so hard to get them on our page. So we really have to make sure that we're mixing up the content when we are working our social media as well. So I like to on every day, I try to go back to my page, especially at the end of the day, and make sure that I share one personal photo or post, something about Scentsy, something about my other business, and then something like funny because I want people um, the world sucks right now. So I want to give people a reason to laugh or smile or something like that, that they, just, okay, she's not just trying to sell stuff to me. I'm relating to them. Um, so whether it's a personal picture, whether it's non-Scentsy related, when I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, what can I share? What should I be sharing to be personable on social media? And that's when it goes back to how did I meet these people when I'm networking with them? And for me, I use a lot of Facebook groups. Like I said before, when I first started Scentsy, I was in the oil field group. So I like to post a lot about my life and my journey in regards to being an oil field wife because I have so many people on my Facebook page that relate to it. I now have 2 kids that are in cheer, so I want to post the cheer journey. I am in a lot of Facebook groups about cooking, so a lot of times I'll share new recipes or just photos of what I made for dinner. Ask, what did you make for dinner tonight? Because then it's not just that I related to them on one level in a Facebook group to where I got them on my page, but then I'm continuing that relationship and I'm keeping them intrigued and involved in my page by continuing that relationship of whatever made us connect in the first place, whether it's oil field, whether it's Disney, whether it's military veteran stuff, whatever it is. So I try to break up and I do a variety so that I'm keeping that relationship, that networking, that relationship building going strong so that they don't hit that unfollow button when I do have that one day where we have a flash sale and I have to do Scentsy. They're like, oh, it's fine. She'll be done after today. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you want to be personable. You want your customers to be able to relate to you so that they stick around, so that they're loyal to you. And eventually, hopefully, that transition will come from customer to team member and hopefully your next rock star. So that's why I love social media because it allows me to have the outreach not all over just the United States because Scentsy is global, but it allows me to get outside of just my small town that I'm in. And it's allowed me to run a successful business for the past 10 years. So.
I love that. Like I just said, you're so well-rounded. You just have like you just have little things that you can share. And like, I don't even know how to say it. I just feel like I'm a mom and a nurse sometimes. And it's just like, you're like veterans and cheer and housing. And it's just so cool to see that. So definitely use your life, other like hobbies into your Scentsy business to really grow. So,
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much. Shauna, I'm excited for you. Let's see. Okay, you are spotlighted.
Hey guys, so I am Shauna Davis, and if you do not know me, or if you do know me, you probably know me from the Let's Sell Without Selling page that I started about 2 years ago. And I started that group because I had so many people say that, I want to show up on social media, but I really don't know how. And I didn't find that a lot of leaders were actually teaching the how. They were just saying how and not actually showing examples of how. And so I created that group. I have not been in there the past 2 months. I've been on a little break, but we will kick off again next month. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about. Bridget and Danny have already touched on it a little bit. And with the real life images and just showing up as your true authentic self and really just showing how you work your business and how you use the products on a daily. So people come to social media to check in on their friends and see what you're up to. They do not come to social media to be sold to, but they can be sold to. Okay. They don't come here for that, but they can be sold to. And you want to give them those moments where they're like, ooh, I like that. I want that. Tell me more. Give me more about that, while sprinkling in, like Bridget and Danny have said already, things about yourself, like who are you? You're not just Scentsy. You're not just a Scentsy independent consultant. Okay. Like me, I like Mexican food. I post about it often. I meal prep. I just picked up gardening. Many know me as the no pant work day person. I like my no pant work days. And I, like Danny, post almost every morning something inspirational and motivational just to get the day started. And when I don't post that, people come to me like, hey, what's up? Like, missed your post today. And so you want to be more than just the Scentsy infomercial, like they said, but at the same time, you still want to make those posts. So I call it Let's Sell Without Selling, not just about the product, but the opportunity. So how are you showing up to showcase what you do in this business? And it's very simple, you guys. It's showing you packing up orders. It's you showing that you're making samples. It's you snapping a selfie of yourself with hands and arms full of Happy Mail that you're going to be sending out. It's you posting the recognition that you got. It's you if you have younger kids. My kids are older now, so they don't help out as often, but when they were younger, it was them sorting the testers or labeling the catalogs. It's my husband, he does help out a lot. So like he wrote out these not too long ago. He did a whole bunch of them, but I snapped a photo of him writing these, and they say, thank you for shopping my wife's website. Our family appreciates your support so much. Much love, Dante. And me posting that image showcases how my family can be involved in this, and it's not just my thing. And you guys, a thing about these, I send scent circles out all the time in Happy Mail. Do you know how many times people reach out and say, oh, thank you for that Happy Mail? Very rarely. But how many how many of them said, oh my gosh, I got a card or a thank you from Dante. They posted it, they tagged me in it, they put it in their stories. I'm like, come on, people. I even made a post about that. Like, dude, y'all don't say thank you when I send it, but let my husband do some work, and y'all are all over it. It got a lot of interaction. People thought it was funny. But doing things like that showcase the opportunity. It's planting the seeds of opportunity and showing how when people are thinking, like Danny said, she was looking for a way to be home with her babies. When you're showing them how you're working this business around your life, around your kids, around your spouse, and all of that, that gets people interested. And then the product, real life photos, you guys, I am not every blue moon, it's okay to share a flyer. But real life photos is what is going to connect people to you and to the products. It's going to give them those moments of, okay, I can relate to that. I really need that. And so I sell a lot of Scentsy Fresh. And I think the reason I know the reason I sell a lot of Scentsy Fresh is because I'm in my stories all the time. Like Bridget said, be in your stories, be in your feed, kind of be all over the place. Like post in all the different avenues, because if you're only in your stories, you're missing those that only scroll the feed. If you're only in your feed, you're missing those who only watch stories. So you kind of want to be in both locations. And I'm speaking on Facebook, like Bridget. I do my stories and Instagram, but still haven't quite figured out the whole feed in Instagram yet. So, and I just lost my train of thought, which happens all the time. So showcasing, what was I saying?
Scentsy Fresh.
Scentsy Fresh. Thank you. Scentsy Fresh. So how I showcase that on a regular basis, I spray it on my linens in the morning. I'll spray it on my couch. You'll see me post my son a picture of him spraying it in his shoes, or I'll spray it in my husband's tennis shoes. It will be quite often. Like one photo that got tons of interaction was me with the Scentsy Fresh. I just kicked my husband off the couch and he was laying on the ground, and I pulled out the Scentsy Fresh behind him and said, you know, just kicked him off the couch because he farted and almost made me throw up. Grabbed the Scentsy Fresh, bam. How many of you guys can relate to that? So many people. And so just all of those different ways, showcasing, showing your people who follow you how these products can work in their life is how you're going to connect with them. And you want to do that with all of the products you use. And I am a big person on, if I don't use it, I'm not talking about it, because it's not authentic. And it's not authentic for me to talk about how awesome our travel twists are if I don't use them. And so you, if you have a product that you want to showcase, see if anybody else has used them, a customer or a Scentsy friend, and share their review on it. But don't say how awesome it is if you don't personally yourself use it. And like they've all said, just be consistent with the way that you show up. And I have to throw this in there because it wouldn't be me talking if I didn't. Stop worrying about what other people think. Okay. I think that holds a lot of people back on social media. You worry about what people will think if you post. What are they going to think about how you post? What are they going to think if you post like too much Scentsy, or not enough Scentsy, or how you look? I think a lot of people don't show up because they're worried, you know, if their hair is done or their makeup's done or how the house in the background looks. Like, just show up, you guys. That's what matters. And you're going to connect with so many more people when you show up as who you are in everyday life than if you show up on social media. And I think, Danny, you said something along these lines, is if they see a certain individual online and then they see somebody totally different in person, it's not going to be authentic. And so stop worrying about what other people think about what you do, how you post, and just post. Okay. Just post all the things, share all of the things. Okay. I think I'm done.
Thank you so much. We have a question, but I'll save it until the end because we'll go over to Bree. Okay. Thank you so much. That was so great. I don't know if you read comments at all, but my 5-year-old's just learning how to write his name. So I think I'm going to have him write on my Scent Circles.
Yes.
Okay. All you, Bree.
Okay. Hi, guys. I'm Brianna Engel. I am currently living in a very small town in Texas. Just moved here in 2022, beginning of 2022. I'm originally from California. Central Valley, not the beach, not Northern California, just smack dab in the middle, basically. And so we moved to Texas because we love it here and it just fit our family more authentically. And so it's interesting. First of all, huge exclamation point on everything that Bridget, Shauna, and Danny have all said so far. Like, I'm so glad that I'm going last, so I can just be like, just refer back to what they said, because what they said is basically what I'm going to tell you as the pre part of kind of just like the nitty gritty of how I manage my social media. And so maybe I'll be able to answer Chelsea's question in my little quick snippet that I'm doing here. But I'm going to give you guys kind of the basics of how I run my social media because consistency is a like if there was a secret sauce to Scentsy, if there was a secret sauce to this business, if somebody asks me like what's the key to being successful, I will tell them, sure, it's consistency. Like that's what it is. And it's no secret. It's just hard for people to do. And so social media seems to be one of those areas that people struggle with consistently. And so coming up with an idea or a roadmap of how you're going to navigate social media, because it can be draining and it can feel like a second job to your business when you're having to get on social media, especially if it doesn't come naturally to you. Pre Scentsy, I wasn't posting every day, you know, I was posting once a week of my kids or whatever, something special that happened. Like I was just not an avid poster. And I had to teach myself that showing up and being the Scentsy person and being there and showing people what's really going on in my life and all these things was going to help build my business, because it helps build relationships, right? It goes back to that. And so coming up with a roadmap of how you navigate social media is super important. And so Facebook is where I started, to be completely honest. When I joined in 2017, September of 2017, the day that I joined, I created a customer group. And since then, I've had the same customer group, and I have never not posted in my customer group since I've joined. Not a single day has gone by. That's through sickness, that's through moving, that's through just everything, holidays, vacations, incentive trips. Like I have never gone a day without posting in my customer group because I said, if I'm going to do this, whatever my why was then, right? If I'm going to create a customer group, invite people in, I am not going to ghost them on any level. I am not going to say that I'm not going to be here today, right? They came here, they're here for a purpose, and I want to make sure that I am adding value to the reason why they're here. I'm their Scentsy person. I need to be consistent in what they're expecting from me. So my customer group on Facebook is, I treat it like a lifestyle blog. I got this from my sponsor. She's brilliant in this way, but she runs her VIP group very similarly. And it's like a lifestyle blog. And so I do that because Scentsy is a lifestyle product. We're a lifestyle company. We can take any of our products and insert it into our life and naturally have something to talk about or ways to show it or have reasons to sell it, because we have beautiful, amazing products. Hence the mess that's going on back here, right? Like 'tis the season. So literally I can just snap pictures all day long because I'm using Scentsy in my home and in my life at every turn. And so I treat my customer group like a lifestyle blog, and I do 80% Scentsy in there and 20% real life. And that's where the roadmap part kind of comes in, because it helps me to let my brain focus on the content that I'm posting, because I want to be intentional about it, right? So all the ladies have kind of touched on this idea of relationships, showing up as your authentic self. And so, like I said, I have brought people into this group with the expectation that they're going to be given access to Scentsy, right, in a different way than they're getting somewhere else, right, on my personal page or whatever. And so I need to make sure that I'm providing that. And so 80% of my content is Scentsy. It's real life pictures. It's Scentsy fresh on my bed every single day. It's my buddies on my bed. It's the counter clean. It's my mini fan in my car. You know, no matter what I'm doing, I'm posting about what's going on. And then it's 20% real life. So sometimes in the morning, I'm posting a picture of me and my coffee. Sometimes I'm posting a picture of my kids wilding out in the morning while I'm trying to get them to school. So it varies, or I'm also posting about things that I love, like going to church, like Friends, I really love the TV show Friends, you know, all those things. And so I want to build connections with people. Yes, we're all there in my customer group because we all love Scentsy, right? But I am not just a Scentsy consultant. There are a lot more to me that I want my customers to be able to engage with and interact with and connect with me. And it's proven very successful in my business because I recognize that they are noticing the things that I'm talking about because they're tagging me on my personal page about it. Right. So when I'm talking about Friends or Highland Cows in my customer group, and then that customer then goes and tags me on a post the next day, it's like, oh, okay, you know. And so that's how I run my customer group. And I'm going to add this little tidbit in there. It's a topic that I really am honing in on with my team and with people who I'm talking about customer groups. And I see this chatter a lot on different consultant pages about customer groups just feeling like crickets right now, right? Like just dead. Nobody's talking, nobody's liking, nobody's commenting, all that. And I hear you. And it's so funny. We just did a social media training last night for our team. And I really tried to drive the point home that I am not posting for likes and comments. Like that is not my intention. I could care less if you like or comment my post. I'm posting for sales, right? So what does my PRV look like? Does that post equate to my customer service on the back end, right? So when I follow up with my customers 2 days after I've posted in my VIP for a week, or, you know, consistently, and I'm following up and they say, hey, oh yeah, can you also add that warmer that you posted about last week? Boom. I don't care that they didn't like it. I don't care that they didn't comment. That's not paying my commission, right? And so make sure that you are analyzing that in a way. Sure, there may be things that you can switch up if you're using flyers or graphics or things of that nature. There are things that we can always improve on. But the reality of it is that if you are being consistent and you are showing up as your authentic self, posting real life pictures, posting valuable content, and value doesn't mean that you know every single thing about Scentsy, right? Value can be comedic value, right? It can be you're really funny, you've got witty things. We all know consultants who have really funny things going on and we know them and love them because they're hilarious, right? Or it can be because you love Disney or you're big on Christmas or you're big on Halloween. Whatever it is, you're bringing value to your customers and they're choosing you for a multitude of reasons, right? So shine in that area. And so on the flip side, right, on my personal page, I flipped it on its head. My personal page is 80% real life, right? And I'm not posting every day on my personal page, but it's 80% real life and it's 20% Scentsy, right? Because those people, I still want them to know, yeah, I'm a Scentsy consultant. Yes, I love what I do. Yes, Scentsy is a part of my life, but I'm not necessarily trying to sell to them, right? They're not my target customers or they're not my target group because those are my VIP group. But I do want to let them know I'm a Scentsy consultant. And I literally posted about the snowman warmer in my group like 5 times. And then I posted a video about it on my personal page and had people who are in my customer group order it because they saw it, they commented on my personal page. So you just never know, but 80% on my personal page. And then I do spend a lot of time on Instagram. I love Instagram. And so on Instagram, I do both. I do the grid and I do the stories. And the way that I have balanced that out for myself, and I have some amazing friends who do a really beautiful job at like doing both. And they've got like Scentsy and real life. And it's like every other post. And it's just like, oh, I love it. But when you look at my Instagram, it's a lot of really pretty pictures, in my opinion, a lot of really pretty pictures and mostly Scentsy. Okay, you're going to see probably 80% Scentsy on my Instagram grid, and maybe 20 to 15% real life. Me and my husband on dates, my kids, big things that are going on. I'll post it on Instagram on my grid, but it's mostly Scentsy because I created that Instagram account for that purpose. But if you come into my stories, you're going to see a lot of Scentsy, but you're also going to see a lot of real life stuff that's happening that you're not going to get in my grid, right? So it's like a treat for the people who show up to my stories and see what's going on in my stories because I'm having a more in-depth conversation about other things in there, right? And so I have made it, somebody said about consistency. We always say, me, my sponsor, our team, we always say, be consistent, but you get to choose your level of consistency, right? So me showing up every day, posting 5 to 7 times in my VIP group, is my level of consistency. That doesn't have to be yours, right? So I have a really great friend who, when she joined Scentsy, was not posting hardly at all. And she goes, okay, well, I know I'm going to have to start showing up on social media. So I'm going to commit to doing one post a day, just one. Okay. And she did that for a while until she got comfortable and being consistent about that. And then she upped her level of consistency. So if you are stepping into this and you're afraid of like, how often should I be posting? Commit to one, right? Commit to one and be consistent at whatever level you choose. And then you can always up it. You can always up it. But when you go hard and you're like, okay, I'm gonna post 10 times today and 10 times tomorrow, you're gonna burn yourself out. And then all of a sudden you're ghosting your people, right? So it's much easier to start small and grow versus going hard and then scaling back or ghosting, because it creates confusion for the people watching. And so on Instagram, I am super consistent and I post at least, I'm a little bit more lenient with myself. I want to say I post once a day, but most of the time it's 5 out of 7 times, but you'll always find me in my stories. And so those are the avenues that I use, primarily Facebook and Instagram. And how I manage those is I schedule a lot of posts in my VIP group. And then Instagram, I come up with whatever, like in the morning when my creative juices are flowing, I figure out what my post is going to be for that day. And then I kind of just center some content around it in my stories. Obviously super authentic. Like if it's wax change Wednesday, I know I'm going to change my wax. I know it's going to be this scent, and I know I want to take a picture of this warmer. So when I get ready for a wax change, I'm in my stories talking about all of that. And then the picture is going to be this, right? And then everything else is just authentic extra. And so road mapping it out, planning it out, I feel like makes it super easy, and don't overcomplicate it, right? If consistency is the key, then you need simple to back it up, or else you're not going to stick to it.
I love that. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to start with you, Bree, because I have a few questions. The first one is, what would be your number one tip to someone who is thinking about shutting down their VIP page?
This is so hard because I feel like there's a lot of variables, right?
Anyone can make it, it doesn't have to be you. So
yeah, I saw a thread of leaders saying that, you know, they were going to shut down their VIP group, and a lot of people I felt like had super valid reasons. And a lot of people chimed in and said, I've never had a VIP group and I've done just fine. And that's, yeah, Danny's raising her hand. So like, totally, I get other things work for people. For me personally, I can't imagine not having a VIP group. However, I will say, I also communicate with my customers via email every single week. So kind of piggybacking off what Danny said about like, if Scentsy went away tomorrow, after 2020, I had the mindset of, if Facebook and Instagram disappear, how am I going to keep in contact with my customers on a mass level? And so I started implementing emails. And so I do emails on a weekly basis as well. And so customer groups, you have to do what works for you, right? But I would say implement these things and give it a good, honest shot, and see if your effort is not reflected in your commissions or in your PRV, right? If it's really truly not matching up and you find a different way, then by all means.
okay, now to email, sorry, this is kind of going a different way. To email, what are you saying? Because I send emails as well each week, but what are you saying to your customers each week for someone who doesn't know really how to come up with that kind of content?
Yeah, so I am 99% of the time just taking the content that I posted in my VIP group all week long and translating it into an email, because I recognize not all my customers are in my VIP group, or not all of them are paying attention. And so I literally will take a post that I posted in my VIP group and copy and paste it to my email. And I'll do the first part of it's like a little like, here's how the week's been, whatever, the weather's great. And then I go into what's launching. I send emails on Fridays. So we know on Thursday what's launching. So here's your heads up, and things that I'm loving, whatever, some VIP posts, and I send the email. So, I mean, I keep it pretty simple, but I like to make it pretty too.
Yeah. Do you use a specific app, Flowdesk?
Yeah, I use MailChimp.
MailChimp.
Yeah, I used to do the paid version only for like the extra templates, but I don't know what I was doing because I use the same template every time. So I stopped paying for it and I literally create the email, go into preview mode, copy it, go into the workstation, click all the people I want to go. My last 500 purchase is what I do. And then I paste the email into the message box.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. And are your Facebook and Instagram linked to get together, or are those two opposite, like separate things?
Like what I post on my Instagram stories translates to my Facebook.
Yeah. So right now, anything I post on Facebook, post on Instagram, anything I post on Instagram, post on Facebook. So they look exactly the same.
Yeah, no, I don't have post being mirrored as far as like what I post on my Instagram. I did that for a little bit, but I didn't really like it.
Okay.
And so, but my Instagram stories do move over to I have it somehow linked to my business page on Facebook. I don't know how that happened. I don't know that's doing me really any good. But I don't know how to stop it. So I'm just letting it roll because I do have a business page too that I try to post on twice a week.
Okay. And so then you do separate stories on Facebook.
No, I don't do stories on Facebook.
Oh, you're just Instagram through and through.
I'm just Instagram
Awesome.
stories. Yeah, I don't like Facebook's I don't like Facebook's stories for some reason. So yeah, I don't do stories on Facebook.
Okay. Hey, Danny, I'm going to bounce back to you. Do you do online parties?
I do, but I'll be honest, they've slowed down quite a bit since COVID.
Okay.
I notice a big decline. That does not mean I do not stop offering. I still offer it all the time. And sometimes people hit me up, sometimes not, for it. And so I roll with, so for a long time I did posting parties in the very beginning. Then Allison Dalkey talked about her little 30-minute live parties. And so I switched over to those. I've tried the bingo parties, not the pay to play, but just like, fun, like little fun fact type bingo things with themes. And I even did in the mail pouch parties. I used to do those where I would send them a pouch and then they would mail it back. But then I ended up making like my own mini testers and they could just keep everything. So I would just mail those. So now what I do, like, especially during catalog transition, is I basically give everybody a mini pouch party that I create on my own. So I'll take the 10 bars that we come out with for the new catalog and I'll buy little containers on Amazon and I'll make my own little testers and send them out with people with a thing going, hey, if you collect $200 in orders, that's a party, and then put it in that way. So I have transitioned from because obviously if Facebook, it goes in waves. If Facebook parties aren't going to be an interest, I got to find how to grow my network in other ways. And so these are just different ways that I pivot when there are seasons that are slower.
Awesome. Thank you. And you don't keep any stock, I'm assuming.
So I don't really keep any stock. I used to do like little local events when I lived in Florida, and then especially like fall festivals, winter festivals, whatever. I would just like little ones. For the most part, it would be extra warmers and warmers of the month and scents of the month bars, plus like anything that I use like my Hostess rewards to get free and half off. So it wasn't really costing me much to have the little bit of inventory that I did. And if I sold it, great. If not, like it didn't cost me a whole heck of a lot. Now I don't really do much anything in person. My business is for the most part completely online. So like I have some stuff on hand, but I do not intentionally build inventory now.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. What a great way to run your business. So I did see a huge shift with COVID where people like moved online, and I have not changed that for them. Like I do not offer like, hey, let me just place your order online and come pick it up in my house. Like if they order online, I'm just letting them do that. So I don't know if there's more people on here who've been around through 2020 that is also just kind of like sailing on with that business style. So does anyone else have any questions? Shauna, I had just a comment. What you focus on is what you sell. So if you do have a bunch of Scentsy Fresh sitting on your little things up here, focus on Scentsy Fresh, and guess what? You're going to sell all of the ones that are just sitting on your shelves in your stock room. So for sure. And then Bridget, consistently good rather than sometimes great, is so good to hear. So does anyone else, oh, Bree, can you repeat how you do your email? Is it pictures or just words?
Yeah. And actually, if it's okay, me and my sponsor just did a tutorial for our team on YouTube, on how we create our email. So I can link that if that's okay with you, Amy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I go into MailChimp. I think it's called email templates, or it's campaigns. It might be campaigns, but you go in there. They have already made up templates for, like, these are where the pictures go, but you can go in there and play around with it, all the good stuff. But I do pictures and words, and I just I keep the same templates. So I just go in there week after week and I just switch things around. And so it's not me recreating the wheel, it's me just redesigning or being creative. And so both words and pictures. And then once I'm done, there's a preview button that you click, and it takes you to what it's going to look like when it sends. And you just have to copy the entire thing, like all the weird words at the bottom that MailChimp has, blah, blah, blah. Copy it all. And then you go into your workstation and you can go to your contacts and do sort by 500, and then last purchased, you just click up. And then I select all those, hit email, and then paste the email into the little communications box.
Who's your sponsor?
Alex Erickson.
Oh, I don't know. Okay. And Chelsea, did you get your question answered?
And Amy, can I add something?
Yes, please.
I don't know why I got super nervous, but I forgot all the things that I was going to say. And so one of the things that I get asked all the time is, how do you convert what you post into sales? And so how I do that is really just engaging with the people who are commenting, or the posts that I make them engage in posts. So when you're posting what you're warming, ask people, what are they warming? If I'm sharing that I'm putting a Scentsy pack or dryer disc in my luggage, I will ask, what are your packing essentials? Like, what do you pack? And this just gets the conversation going. And if someone is interested in the things that I am sharing, one of the very first questions that I ask them is, would you like to get that free? Because that, would you like to get that free, will help me convert it to some type of party, whether it be online, in person, or a personal shopping link. And so if I create them a personal shopping link, I go ahead and tell them, hey, share this with a couple friends. If they order, you get rewards. And so to keep the Facebook algorithms to where I'm not seeing Scentsy people as much, there are two things that I do. When I have people commenting on my stuff that aren't Scentsy people, I go comment on theirs, so that it keeps me in their feed and me in theirs. And a lot of my Scentsy posts, I do list where I block Scentsy people from seeing it, because we interact with Scentsy people with our teams all the time. And if you're seeing too many Scentsy people in your feed and in your stories, it means you're not interacting with non-Scentsy people enough. And so by putting them in a list to block them from seeing my things, it allows more non-Scentsy people to see them. And also when they comment, me going to comment on their stuff keeps them in the feed as well. So that's how I convert from just my post to an actual sale or a party.
I love that. Thank you. That helps so much, because I have really gotten away from scrolling, because all I am seeing is Scentsy, and it definitely can make you feel less than.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love that, how you can actually like play with the algorithm and make it more. I can't even tell you last real person, not Scentsy, right, that I even interacted with. So thank you for adding that on.
Amy,
Yep, go ahead.
sorry, I was just gonna say, sorry, and I sound horrible because I've been sick. So, anyways, I do a lot of like time blocks to make Scentsy work in my life, because it's insane. And so Sunday is like the day I sit down and I do all my posts in my VIP page. And I'm super proud of the activity that happens in my VIP page, but it's because I'm able to be consistent because I sit down and schedule them. But like Instagram doesn't have a scheduling feature. And so that's why I struggle to be consistent, because my life just doesn't work that way. And so my question was, what are some strategies that they do to like remember to post every day? Because it's crazy for me. So that's what I was wondering, if they had any specific strategies.
I can pop on for a part of this. So there are going to be days that you're going to be busy, or you just plain don't feel like it, and that's okay. And honestly, honor those days. If there's days that you're feeling sick, or you just want to be disconnected and with your family, like that's cool. There's literally no one telling you that that's not okay. But on the days that you do feel those creative juices going and that you have the time, pull out. I just recently pulled out like all of my holiday warmers that I had ordered for this holiday collection, and I just did like 5 unboxing reels in a row, a crap ton of marketing photos, and I mean, I spent, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 hours on it. But now I've got, however many days worth of content just sitting in my phone gallery for when I need to drop those in on the days that I don't feel like it. It's already just ready to go.
So when you said that in your gallery, like, are you just talking about on your phone? You just take videos and save them on your phone? Or is there something you can like do drafts in Instagram that I'm not aware of? Because
you can do drafts in your reels. So I'll shoot the little segments on my phone, and then I'll just upload them and make a reel, and then save it as a draft, and then just hit submit on the day that I want to drop it. So if you have those days where you feel good and you're like rocking it out, then knock out a bunch. You could even do a bunch of like different unboxings and like swap your shirt out, put your hair up, put your hair down, you know what I mean? Put on a different pair of glasses. So it's same day, but different tops, and it'll look like you've got your life together.
Yeah, and to add with what Danny was saying with the drafts and stuff, just be careful if you save a draft, because there's been so many times where I'll like bulk content and I'll do like the wording and all the things, and then when I post it, sometimes it'll like delete certain things, or it's not lined up anymore. So just re-watch it. But also, if you haven't bulk content yet, and you're more than a year in, don't be afraid to click on Facebook memories and recycle some of your old content, because a lot of times it's stuff that has been repeated, it's came back, or it's a generic enough. And if you see that certain posts got a lot of comments or interactions, use it again. That's so many times in the morning, I'll sometimes go through memories and I'll see like what I can reuse for the day. And I'll use that first thing, especially if I don't have anything really planned out from the morning. I'll go back to my Facebook memories and I'll reuse some of my old content that way as well.
I love that. I remember I commented and was like, oh my gosh, you look so hot. And you're like, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another tip that I just wanted to add, you could also, since you're scheduling out your posts on Sundays, for your Facebook group, you could also just like set a reminder for yourself and to take one of those posts and just use it on your Instagram, right? Just copy and paste it onto your Instagram feed. And if you can set a reminder for like a time where you'll have like 5 minutes to sit down and just go to your Facebook group, pick out whatever, content you think is great for that day and post it to your Instagram.
Love that. Okay. Anyone else? No. We are about 1 hour on the dot. So thank you again, ladies, for coming on super late at night for us Pacific timers. And yeah, I recorded it, so I will post it to YouTube and then I'll share it with everyone so you guys can share it with your teams. Alrighty. Have a good night, guys. Bye.
Thanks, guys.